For thousands of years, skeptics have called Noah's Ark a myth, a fairy tale for children, a colossal wooden ship built thousands of years ago, surviving a global catastrophe? Impossible. But hidden inside the ancient description is something astonishing. The design of the Ark follows a 6:1 length-to-width ratio, a proportion modern naval architects recognize as one of the most stable ship designs ever discovered. In fact, engineers say a vessel built with this ratio is extremely difficult to capsize, even in violent seas. So, the question becomes unavoidable. How did an ancient story describe a ship design that modern engineering still considers nearly perfect? To understand that mystery, we have to travel back to a world that had never seen rain. According to the book of Genesis, the earth was once watered, not by storms, but by a mist rising from the ground. No thunder, no lightning, no dark clouds. A stable world, a predictable world, a world that seemed permanent. Then one man began building a wooden giant in the middle of dry land, not near an ocean, not near a river, just a massive skeleton of gopher wood rising year after year under the relentless sun. People stopped to watch, then they laughed. To them, the builder, Noah, was a spectacle, a fanatic, a fool. But Noah worked with terrifying certainty because he believed something the rest of the world refused to imagine. The stability they trusted was an illusion, and a disaster humanity had never seen before was coming. According to the book of Genesis, the world had become a place of violence and corruption. But one man stood apart, Noah. He was given both a warning and a blueprint, the Ark. This wasn't a ship designed to travel the seas. It had no sails, no oars, no rudder. It wasn't built to navigate. It was built to survive. A floating vault designed to preserve life. The dimensions were staggering, 300 cubits long, 50 cubits high. In modern measurements, that's over 450 feet long, about 1.5 football fields. Inside were 3 massive decks sealed with waterproof pitch. It would have been the largest wooden vessel the ancient world had ever seen. And it was being built for something that seemed impossible, the sky breaking open. Then something strange began to happen. Animals started moving. Creatures emerged from forests, deserts, and plains. Not in chaos, not in panic, but with a quiet, almost supernatural order. Pairs of animals began converging on the Ark. Lions walked beside deer. Birds filled the sky in great swirling flocks. Noah didn't hunt them. He didn't trap them. They came to him, drawn by an instinct deeper than fear. Finally, Noah's family entered the Ark, 8 people in total. And then something chilling happened. The door closed, not by human hands, but by God himself. The time for warnings was over. For 7 days, nothing happened. The sun still burned overhead. The ground remained dry. Outside, perhaps people were still laughing. Then, the sky broke. Genesis describes 2 forces unleashed at once. The fountains of the great deep burst upward from beneath the earth, and the windows of heaven opened above. This was not just a storm. It was a planetary catastrophe. For 40 days and 40 nights, water poured from the sky, while the earth itself erupted with floods. Rivers disappeared, valleys filled, cities were swallowed. Mountains slowly vanished beneath rising water, and above the endless ocean, one massive wooden ark drifted in the darkness. The object, once mocked by the world, had become the last refuge of life on Earth. But the flood did not end quickly. The waters ruled the Earth for 150 days. The Ark floated alone on a global ocean. Inside, survival was relentless work, feeding animals, maintaining order, listening to the constant groaning of timber as waves pounded against the hull, and always the same question in their minds: would the water ever go down? Finally, Noah opened a window. He released a raven. It circled the endless waters, finding nowhere to land. Then Noah released a dove. The first time, it returned. The world was still water. The second time, the dove came back carrying something small, an olive leaf, a simple sign that life had returned to the earth. The third time, Noah released the dove. It never came back. The earth was breathing again. Eventually, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Mount Ararat. After more than a year inside the vessel, the door finally opened. Noah stepped onto a world that had been completely transformed. His first act was not to build a shelter. It was to build an altar. He gave thanks for the mercy that had carried them through the storm. Then sunlight pierced the retreating clouds. Across the sky appeared a brilliant arc of color, the first rainbow, a covenant. A promise that the Earth would never again be destroyed by flood. The old world ended in a storm, but on that quiet mountainside, a new world began. Because even when the world is completely submerged, hope has a way of floating.